Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the FPL Newbies. And game week one has just finished, and oh my, what a crazy game week! I mean, last last video when I said at the end that I wish all of you got 100 plus points, that was definitely a joke. I literally did not mean that everyone should get 100 points, or I never even thought that it was possible. And even during during the second day of game week one, when the United versus Leeds match was going on and Bruno was scoring so many points, it never occurred to me that ultimately all the proven assets, literally all the assets that we are discussed about, that everyone was discussed about, everyone delivered except a very few. And I think this is like a dream start that anyone can ever have. But the downside negative is also the fact that 100 points has been so common in this game week that people who did not reach it are kind of disappointed. Like, imagine getting 80, 90 points in the opening day of your FPL season and still being disappointed. That's just outright crazy. So, anyways, I finished on 97 points. It was definitely disappointing since it was just three more points and I could have crossed that 100 mark. I placed just outside of 500k rank, which is also a major factor because I have seen people having 103 and 104 points, which is just 5 or 6 more than me, and they are in that 200k mark. So just a few points can make such a difference in the rank, which is insane. So in my case, if I look at my team, all the assets delivered properly except Sanchez, Sufal, Shaw, Mahrez, and Burns. And as usual, and talking about assets, Salah and Bruno delivered once again. I mean, they're essential for a reason. And I had seen no Bruno movement going on in the Twitter for a couple of weeks, and ultimately people stuck to that. People did not go with Bruno, so that proved to be a major hindrance. Now, I know like people were having their concerns because there was a talk about Ole playing a 4-3-3 and Bruno would not be in an advanced position. 4-3-3 would not suit him. He would be deeper. But I think people should still have picked him and seen what exactly Ole does, because as we saw even last season, United did not go to a great start, but still Bruno was delivering all the while. I did not have Bruno in the start of last season, and it massively hurt my rank. So even if United were losing, Bruno was continuously scoring. So you can't live out Bruno in this way. I mean, people often say, and even Ole has said that he wants to build the team around Pogba and all those stuff, but Bruno is around whom we play. So I mean, it's also a factor that it was against Leeds, so he might not be able to replicate it exactly in the next match, but that does not decrease his value in any other way. And coming to the other essential, Salah, as usual, I mean, hat trick in the opening day of the last game week and scored and then two assists, which is great. I mean, I think in terms of captaincy, people only lost 6 points. People who captained Salah and people who captained Bruno. So it was not too crazy altogether. And I mean, both the captaincy options delivered. And I think Salah also made some sort of record in which he has scored in the first match of every league season since his introduction at Liverpool. So that is really crazy. And if I talk about other assets that caught my eye that I have in my team, is definitely Antonio in terms of his attacking prospects. Like, the finish that he did was so clean and so composed. And last season, he missed a lot of the initial parts with West Ham due to an injury. And I think he came back and everyone had in his team and he scored. And 7.5 feels low. He feels an 8 million asset, to be honest. The injury thing is only his concern. And he also assisted. Both his XG and XA looked good. So I think Antonio is someone we can count on for the long run. And other than Antonio, the other striker I had, Danny Ings, he was he was okay. Aston Villa as a team from an FPL perspective were kind of disappointing. Watford were all over them. That they literally did not give Aston Villa any chance to score. Ings also scored from penalty. A clear-cut chance that he had was like in the first half that was blocked by a Watford defender. So it's still a wait and watch. It's not too bad. There are other options in 8 million that I can switch to if Aston Villa don't start performing well. And Greenwood proved to be a differential without Cavani, played up front. He could have had an assist too if Pogba did not miss. So uh, I think people who went with him, seeing his preseason stats, it definitely worked out. Defense, Sufal and Shaw, I can't blame them. They Sufal could have had an assist. Shaw could have had a goal. Both played according to their strength. Nothing negative to talk about them. Simicas, uh, Simicas also not exactly like Robertson, but he took some corners. He tried to emulate Robertson and went up the field and delivered some crosses. And I think until Robertson comes back, he's definitely nailed, and he could slowly rise to that 4.5 million mark. So that would be great. And uh, talking about the backlogs of my team, it's Mahrez and Barnes. Now, people who went Ben Rama over Burns, they're like so high up in the rank because I mean, kudos to them. And the only reason that I did not take Ben Rama was because I did not want to triple up on West Ham just in the first parts of the game week. It would have been crazy, but then again, West Ham scored 4 goals too. So Leicester as a team did not look too attacking. Maybe it was because they were against Wolves. Wolves played a back five, and they looked more compact in defense. The game between Leicester and Wolves was kind of slow paced, and both teams did not look to exploit each other, and it was kind of stagnant in the midfield. So neither of them had any clear cut chances other than a few. The only one, like Jamie Vardy and Adama Traore, shown for their respective teams, and out of the Leicester attackers, only Vardy was the one who was getting those chances. Even Barnes or Madison, both of them looked kind of off the pace. So it's not like I will still transfer of Barnes and I will knee jerk into Ben Rama this week. It's still a Barnes is still a wait for me. I mean, the next game is against probably West Ham, so they could score. So I mean, Barnes was in my plan for a long time too. And Mahrez, I think of course, I don't think anyone expected Spurs to win that match. And when the match started, after seeing just 15 minutes, I had my concerns that Mahrez probably won't get the goal because he did not get into the box that much, and even in the wings, he was he was not looking to cut inside and take a shot or those stuff. He was just looking to pass, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I think he had a chance. He had a volley. It was kind of difficult to take. He did okay. So he might get benched. That is also a concern for me. But it's against Norwich the next match, so I'm not really looking to sell. If he doesn't do well against Norwich, then he's a definite sell for me in game week 3. The only concern for me is that I had too many bench points, which is always sad when literally two of my defenders had 1 points who were starting, and Amate and Eiling scored 12 points each. So that's kind of bad, but then again, we always want to have a strong bench. So getting 12 points from my 4 and 4.5 million defenders, and getting 2 from my 5.5 and 5 million defenders is definitely a crazy thing. So what are your thoughts on that?
Looking at your team, 97 points are a lot of points for game week 1. And I don't think there should be much disappointment that you didn't hit the 100-point mark because I think 97 is a decent point to start with. And I think most of the players who have played differential like Greenwood and Semikas, they had Simikas gave his clean sheet points and Greenwood actually scored a very beautiful goal. And yeah, all over, I don't think there are too much to talk about with this team. Yeah, Mahrez maybe was a disappointment, and I think the problem with City for now is that are still they played very good football. First of all, no no like no problems with that. But the thing is that without a striker, like since Aguero has moved on from City, they haven't played with a proper number nine. We have seen from last season, and I don't, they are not like really penetrating into the box. Created, they created pressure on the Spurs defense. They knocked the ball around the box, and Grealish drew some fouls. He made some good overlapping runs. Sterling also threatened with his pace and everything, but still, if you see the game properly, like Son actually scored, like the goal scored by Son was from literally a half chance from a long distance. And yeah, Spurs relied on counters, and that's I think what everybody would have expected that they will do against City. And with Nuno as coach, we have seen how Wolves had beaten City with that same approach, counter attack, and exploiting that high line defense. So yeah, I expected Spurs to score goals, but I didn't expect them to come go on and win the match. And City absolutely not scoring a single goal. But still, it's the early parts of the season. A lot of players just came back from Euros and Copa America and all that stuff. And still, we have Walker and Stones and I think Walker, Stones and Foden. Yeah, Foden to come back from their like vacations and that stuff. So yeah, it wasn't a great match for in terms of City's levels and perspective. But I think Mahrez won't get benched because I think he will start matches and Ferran Torres will probably be dropped. And Mahrez, I think last season he started most of the Premier League matches on the right side, and with rumors that Bernardo Silva is on the verge of leaving the club, I don't think Mahrez is getting dropped so soon. I think he will keep starting matches for now, and with easier fixtures to come in future, he will definitely be on the score sheet. And yeah, Barnes was a disappointment even for me because I didn't have Greenwood. I banked on Barnes, and yeah, he actually not like Leicester got a lot of chances, but Barnes got a clear chance of assisting Vardy, and he also got a very good chance to score a goal. But he kind of disappointed in both the occasions and didn't had the best of games by his standards. And I expected a bit more from him at seven. His price is 7.0, and at that price you expect at least one assist coming from him, and that was a disappointment surely. But yes, as you said that selling him on the first day just because he missed a couple of chances, that will be a very rush decision. We will of course see how the season proceeds and everything. And Sufal and Shaw, yeah, we cannot blame them. Sufal actually played really well. Yeah, he put very beautiful crosses, two crosses. One Antonio hit the bar, which of course when later on was turned to a penalty, I think, after a foul on Fornals inside the box. And Shaw also played to his strength. Both of them played to their strength. And keeping a clean sheet, it's a lot of things that depends upon, and we cannot always expect defenders to always keep clean sheets. And mostly Sufal and Shaw are big attractions because of their attacking returns, and I don't think people really bank on them keeping clean sheets actually. And I think United can gather a few more clean sheets with Rafa if Varane, as soon as Varane starts. Yeah, I think they can become more defensively stronger. And the goal scored by Eiling was kind of half chance, and you can't like expect that to go in always. And Leeds didn't create clear cut chances throughout the match, and they could have kept a clean sheet United, but they were unlucky. And of course that we cannot blame that on Shaw because he didn't give a clean sheet. So yeah, I this is only game week one. He will score more points in future. And talking about the bench, yeah, it sucks when you score 12 or 13 points in the bench and it feels like it goes down to waste. But that's the price you pay on keeping starters on the bench. Like they can give you 13, 14 points anytime. anytime at point of any point of the season. And yeah, we cannot cry over spoiled milk. And when we select the bench, we are it's always a 50-50 chance that either the bench will give absolutely zero, or the bench is gonna give a lot more points than your starting players. So yeah, we cannot actually predict that from the beginning. So if we really want the bench, like we don't want to waste 13 or 14 points on the bench, then we have to keep bench players, like literally substitute players in real life on the bench, which I don't think many people do that. And we always tend to at least keep the first or second sub, or the or all the three subs as starters, because of those roulettes that Tuchel and those who keep Chelsea and City players, if you feel that you are vulnerable in terms of rotation, then you always have to keep first or second sub as a strong option as possible. So I think that is okay, and not much to say about 97 points is a very good start to the season.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Okay, moving on to your team.
Yeah,
What is your football?
yeah. Now I couldn't hit the 90 mark, but I think I could have. But still, like it's not in my hands. I selected my players, and most of them delivered. Like Trent gave his clean sheet, Salah captaincy choice paid off, Bruno gave 20 points, Antonio gave 13 points. Yeah. But rest of the midfield, it was pretty underwhelming. Rafinha didn't had the best of his games against United, although I think he got a chance in the dying stages of the game, but he couldn't convert that. Yeah. And Smith Rowe also, he was one of those few Arsenal players who actually had a decent game against Brentford. I think he had two shots on goal, and both of them were saved brilliantly by Raya, who had a brilliant game. And I think he also gave 8 points, and that was a very surprising thing from a newly promoted team. And yeah, as I said, Barnes was a disappointment, of course. And Shaw and Sufa, like Shaw, Sufal, and Barnes, I don't have anything new to say. I banked mostly on Barnes because against Wolves, they are not the best team defensively. And with new coach coming, I expected Leicester to go a bit more pressing, a bit more uh, what to say, challenging. Like I thought that they could do better actually, like more than 1-0, because Traore missed a couple of sitters. I have seen the game, and Wolves had every opportunity to come back into the game or even win the game actually, but they couldn't take their chances. And Leicester defended well. They put bodies on the line. I think Neves had a very good chance, and uh, yeah, but still Wolves couldn't score a goal, and Leicester were kind of lucky to get away with that 1-0 win. I thought they had more goals in them. At least I expected 2-0 or 3-1 type of result, but it's not in my hands, so what, I can't do anything. But I think Leicester will get better as the season progresses, and it's only the start. Barnes just returning from a long-term injury, and Madison, who also had been a bit injury prone since the ending of last season, and he didn't get call up for the Euros, and he had just returned into the squad. Vardy also had his injury issues from last season. We have seen Iheanacho starting most of the matches, who is now playing as a super sub role. And with all these factors including, and the new signings coming in, I think Leicester will may take 2 or 3 games to settle in, but I think they are a promising side, and more goals are coming from them. And I will keep my expectations on Barnes because he was having a brilliant season last time round, with before the injury came in, and I think he has every potential to replicate that performance again. Yeah, talking about Smith Rowe, I wouldn't have started him. Of course, he wasn't in my starting plans. But yeah, seeing my bench, you can see I had bench Stones, and that was kind of a last minute move because I thought that Pep may not start Stones because he just came back from the Euros. He didn't play any of the preseason games, and he might be rested for the first match. So that exact thing happened, and I started Smith Rowe. It's not like it paid off massively. Yeah, I haven't got much points from that decision, but still, I think Stones will be starting in future matches because I am not seeing Ake as a starting centre back for City, and Stones and Diaz are the go-to defenders for Pep Guardiola. And And another fact is that Stone signed a new 5-year contract, and which kind of nails him as a starting center back for City. Who and Stones himself has improved a lot as a defender, and he is one of the top center backs of England now. So yeah, I think he's gonna start next match, and yeah, there is always a chance of that Pep Roulette, but I'm banking on him to start next match. And rest of the team, yeah, Antonio, he missed a penalty, which that match was kind of like a head and heart kind of thing. He missed a penalty. Points were deducted. Then Suchek scored the rebound. He got the assist point, and eventually he went on to score the goal. I think that the decision paid off completely. Yeah, as you said, Benrahma is definitely a player to look out for in future matches. Like he has been very good in the first match, and yeah, maybe many players will be bringing him on in the game week 2, because like they're always that panic about losing more points, losing more rank if he again repeats the same performance in the second game week, provided that West Ham has very good fixtures in the next two matches. So I will wait and see how he does. And Benrahma is also kind of playing the Lingard role like last season, and he has like adapted to the Premier League very well since his transfer. And Ivan Tony, yeah, he was facing Arsenal, and I didn't expect goals from him at all. And yeah, I'm seeing that I haven't seen the full Arsenal game, and I wasn't expecting a goals from Tony, but I think he has the potential to score goals in the coming fixtures because he was the top scorer of the championship. He's a good striker, and maybe I may bring on DCL, provided that he started the first match. Like many people doubted that because of the injury he may not start the first match. He started the first match, and he's even got into the score sheet. I think he has hit off his last year's form pretty well, and yeah, that's a temptation to bring him into the squad, provided the next four fixtures are really good for Everton. And that's kind of my overview for the whole team for now.
I mean, what you said that you did not expect Tony to score, I think it should have been the opposite considering it was Arsenal. No, I mean, in all fairness, no one expected Brentford to win. And from what I saw, Tony did not get a lot of chances. It was okay, but then again, it's one match, so the sample size is really small to judge. What felt good about Brentford was that their fullbacks were really high. They were playing a 3-5-2, and that's how they got their goal. Their first goal was scored by their fullback. So Tony, I don't think there's a major concern now. And as you said, you can switch back to DCL anytime. And overall scored 85, definitely not bad considering the average was 64. So I mean, like at any point of day, like we would be happy with a starting score of 85 in our match day one.
Yeah.
And Smith Rowe and Rafinha, and I think like both, as you said, like
Mm.
really, really unlucky. I know Rafinha was on a one-on-one with David De Gea
Yeah.
at the second half, and he just loved it. Maybe because it was his wrong side, he could not curl it with his right foot since he has a stronger left foot, maybe. And overall, Rafinha kind of looked ragged. He wasn't placing his pass perfectly. So I mean, I don't mean that he will perform badly again in the next game week. It could be a one-off. And Smith Rowe too. Out of all the Arsenal players, Smith Rowe looked the best. As you said, like his chances, his attempts were saved by Raya, and he could have easily scored. So at 5.5, Smith Rowe is definitely like a great steal because he enables us to get those premium forwards and premium midfielders. So not only Smith, even I think Brentford's Mbuemo is also 5.5 and
Yes.
something that we can maybe consider in the future.
Yes.
So
And
Arsenal,
Rafinha's
I think.
Rafinha problem is that it can be a one day off, like not everyone has a good day. And after conceding 5 goals, like it kind of is a demotivation for a player to like again go and attack after conceding 5 goals. That's also mental fatigue and everything comes into the factor. So I think with season to progress, he will obviously find his fit and provide his services as he did last season.
Yeah, definitely. After all, he's also on all the corners and most of the
Yeah, yeah,
set pieces. So, I mean, the thing about Leeds is, as we saw, uh, Leeds tend to be very attacking, leaving space behind them. So naturally, Leeds assets are attractive. Since they played against United in their first match, that's why uh, people did not go for them that much. And I'm sure like they will be looking forward to bring a Bamford, a Harrison, or Rafinha in the later stages. And
absolutely. Hmm.
Arsenal, I think Arsenal will be Arsenal players will be good assets in the future, provided they gain some stability. They don't have any European action this season, so I think that also plays a major factor. They will get more rest and all those stuff. Saka did not play the whole match, so Saka coming back would also boost them. Plus, Lacazette and Aubameyang were ill, so that also kind of was a negative factor for them. So overall, I don't think Smith Rowe was a bad pick. He can definitely prove to be good. Two players that I will keep my eye on other than Ben Rama. One is definitely Sar.
Yeah,
Watford looked great. I mean, the way they spread the game against who did
Aston
they play
Villa.
against?
Aston
Yeah,
Villa.
Aston Villa. Yeah. So the way they spread the game against Aston Villa was really great, and Sard was often on the wings. His goal was obviously kind of lucky. It took a big deflection, but he provided a lot of chances. He was the creator. So at that price range, you can't really ask for more. It's enough to be honest. Even their striker, I think Dennis, although he got injured, but he's one to look forward to. And Watford have a lot of strikers this season. I mean, Dennis scored, and when he went out injured, the striker who came in his place, he also scored. So it's kind of
Yeah,
crazy that both of them scored against such a good Aston Villa defense. So these two are definitely ones to look forward to. And talking about Aston Villa defense, I think it was definitely a one-off. And like people who have Target Martinez or Cash in their team, I don't think they need to worry too much and just panic sell. Uh, although people are saying that Aston Villa have a lot of a new player, so they may take time to gel. I don't think that's necessarily true for the defense because the defense is the same. So opening day, could be a factor. We have to see because a defense that was so good last season cannot turn bad overnight.
of
So I
course.
don't think people really need to panic
Yeah,
regarding
at the
that.
start of the season, a lot of things happens, like lack of preseason, players just coming back from international duties and stuff, coming back from vacation. It takes time to hit off the ground, and you cannot judge a team or a player by game week one, and you have to see at least 3 to 4 to 5 game weeks to make a complete judgment call. And so it's like the first match, so I think for me, people should stick to their team. Maybe make one transfer at maximum. People have a habit of taking hits in out of fear and everything because of that rank fear. But I don't think it's time to take hits as of now. You can make one transfer if you feel like bringing a certain player that has maximum potential of unlocking your team, or stick to your team, trust your team, and I think it will pay off eventually.
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
And for
So I think
me,
that
and for
yeah.
me, 85 points, I'm not too disappointed with this. I know a lot of players scored 90 plus and hundreds and everything, but for me, as a considering this is the start of the season and it was game week one, my game week ones hasn't been more than 50 or 55 points until now. So 85 points is I'm satisfied with it. Of course, I have to work on it a little more and observe a few players who have performed brilliantly on the first day. So with new signings more to come, like Lukaku is now available from game week 2 and everything, all that stuff coming on, and Harry Kane maybe on the move to City. A lot of things can happen eventually, so we have to look for what's going to happen, and still 37 matches to go, and I think it's a good start.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that's good enough for today, and we'll see you guys in the next video with our watch list of players that we think we should target in the upcoming game weeks. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.